Good day, good day, good day. This is real estate coach Craig Proctor. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to talk about how you can make some money by working a very special tactic in today's market to help you work with buyers and, of course, get listings. So we all understand that what's going on in the marketplace right now is if you've got the listings, that's been money in the bank, and you've had a pretty awesome last couple years. But if you're working with buyers, it hasn't been as easy, of course. What we want to talk about, though, is how to find inventory for your buyers. Because the buyer, if they can't buy a home, then they definitely are not going to list their house, right? So the seller's not going to list until we can find them a property. If you're working with first-time buyers, of course, they're priced out of the market, or they're in competition with 5 or 10 or 20 other offers, and you keep losing out over and over again, so it becomes very frustrating. So we're going to talk about how to tackle that situation in today's marketplace and show you how to make some money here today. So let's start off by, let me know what city you're in, okay? Type in the city that you operate in, because we get a lot of referrals going back and forth here inside of Craig Proctor Nation. So, the biggest battle that we fight as real estate agents is obscurity. So don't be shy about this. You've joined up here with us. You don't have to be a Craig Proctor member to make money through referrals from other Craig Proctor members or just anybody watching this. So again, if you just joined me, today we're going to talk about how to make money with buyers in a very strong seller's market. So again, type in where you're from. Let's get some referrals going back and forth. I have a free report, by the way, that I did for this topic. It's called 7 Essential Strategies to Make Money on Buyers in a Seller's Market. So if you would like to get this free report, all you have to do is type in free report into the comments. So you can do that now. This report actually, I show you the postcards. I don't know if you can see this. I show you the postcards and some of the marketing examples that I'd like you guys to test out. These calls, this training, of course, is absolutely free to you and no obligation. I really just believe that the best way to prove to you that I can help you is just to help you, just to give you some good information and start using these techniques so you can prove to yourself they actually work. So in a marketplace where there's no inventory, how are you going to find your buyer a property? So most of you have been doing what we always do, right? You set your buyer up on daily emails, but by the time they find a property, there's already a whole bunch of other offers, or the home is already sold. So that's not really working well, and I assume you've had a lot of buyers have buyer fatigue and they've just left the marketplace, right? And of course, if you can't find the buyer a house, they're not going to list their house, so it's been a big problem. So this is what I've been doing with Craig Proctor members. The offer that we're making that's working really, really well for both buyers and sellers is we're offering them a free service where we'll find them off-market and unlisted properties. Okay, so these are not pocket listings. These are off-market properties, unlisted properties. They're homes that are not yet on the marketplace. So the offer that we make to buyers, like if you want some buyers, you could do this right away. You could run an ad for free on Facebook Marketplace that has the name of your marketplace. So, it might say Sarasota, Florida, or wherever you're at. Home buyers, would you like access to unlisted and off-market properties? Message me. And this offer is gaining a lot of traction. You could also put some ad spend behind it, so you could run some paid Facebook ads. Like, doesn't have to be a big budget, maybe like $10 a day, but that's the offer that seems to be working right now. Is, hey, your area home buyers, would you like to get access to off-market and unlisted properties that are not open to the general public? Okay, this is your priority access. Now, you're going to have some questions here today, like, okay, like I get it, that's a really good offer, But how would I actually, you're going to be asking, like, how do I actually do that? How do I actually find an off-market or unlisted property for my buyer? Now, I'm going to show you how to do that today, but let's just assume that I can show you how to do that. Think of what an awesome offer that is. Okay, you're offering the buyer something they can't get anywhere else, right? The problem we have with buyers today is the offer you're making, which is, would you like me to email you what's on the internet, is something they can do on their own, right? The buyers today don't need us to find a house, right? If you're just going to email them what's on MLS, there's like 50 different websites in the US alone that'll provide that information for them. So, and it's also, if you're saying, I'll just email you, if you work with me, I'll email you the daily updates that come on, that's the same offer that all the other agents are making. But when you say to the buyer, hey, I'll send you what's on MLS, but also, in addition, I have access to unlisted and off-market properties. If you'd like that information, simply tell me what you're looking for, the neighborhood, the price range, and I'm going to use my special target marketing to go into those neighborhoods and find you a property like that. Okay, now you've got their attention. And when you find the seller the ideal home, now they're willing to list their house, right? Before the pandemic, what was normal is if you were working with somebody that wanted to sell a house and buy another house, they had the confidence, right, to list their house, and then there was no big rush to go out and find another home. They had time to do that. Today, though, as you know, the sellers won't do that. How many of you would agree? Let me know in the comments below if you would agree that your sellers are reluctant to list their house for sale until or unless you can find them another property first, because they know what's going to happen, right? Their house is going to instantly sell. It'll probably sell way over the asking price. But now what? Now they're homeless. Because I've heard from a lot of you say, well, I don't even want to work with buyers in this crazy market. I can't find them a property. I only want to work with sellers. Well, you're going to have to work with buyers because the seller's not going to move, not going to list their home until you can find that seller a property, because they know they're going to be homeless. So you've been trying and it's not working. And now here's the solution. There may not be a lot of inventory. There may not be a lot of houses on the market, but I want you to think about this. There are more houses today in the United States and Canada than ever before. So they may not be listed, right? But there's more houses in the United States and Canada than ever before. So our job as real estate marketers is we just have to find sellers that want to sell that haven't yet listed their home on the marketplace. So how we're going to do that is we're going to, check this out, we're going to advertise the buyer instead of the listing, the house, right? Normally in real estate, follow me on this, what we've always been taught to do in real estate is we get the listing and we advertise the house, we advertise the listing to get buyers to call us. What I want you to do is I want you to do the opposite. I want you to advertise your best buyer that you have right now. Okay? I want you to promote that on Facebook Marketplace for free. I want you to run paid ads on Facebook at $10 a piece. We can even do this. Let's take your very best buyer that you have right now. And you ask them, hey, what neighborhood do you want to live in? And they tell you, and they say, well, you know what? I'd really like to live in Glenaway Estates. Craig, if you can find me a nice home in Glenaway Estates, then I would list my house for sale. So I know the neighborhood and I ask them their price range. So what I'm going to do is I am going to send a letter from my buyer, right? Only use their first name, not their first and last, but I'm going to use a letter from my buyer going out to all the houses in Glenaway Estates. And the letter is basically from the buyer saying, hey, my name is George, and I'm really looking to buy a home in Glenaway Estates. And my family and I have been looking in this area for a while. As you probably know, there's hardly any homes on the market. We have been pre-qualified for financing. We're flexible with closing or possession date. We're willing to pay full market value for the right house. And if you're thinking of selling, we're working with real estate agent Craig Proctor at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Here's his phone number. Please phone Craig or text him if you're interested or in even the possibility of selling your house. Okay, so I just made that up, but that's sort of how the letter is going to go. In your ads in Facebook, if you're specific about the buyer, I had one of my clients do this recently. She got one Facebook ad, I think it was either a marketplace or a paid ad. She had 4 sellers respond. Now her buyer's not going to buy 4 houses, but she's got sellers who want to sell. And of course, if we can get sellers who are interested in selling, I believe you'll have no problem finding a buyer for their property. Now, the nice thing about this is when the sellers respond, you're going to drop by, look at the house, make sure it's a fit, or maybe it's not a fit for your buyer. If it's not a fit for your buyer, of course, you're not going to call your buyer. But if it is, you can now double end this property. And we're not even listing the property. You would just do a commission agreement like if you were selling or for sale by owner. So the agents I'm working with are making a lot of money on this because think about this. They're double ending the property, right? They've got a buyer that has a house to sell, but the buyer won't list their home until we find them a property. We find them an off-market property. We double end that, and then our buyer lists their house with us. Okay, so it's really good. And sometimes the sellers that respond will say, well, if I sell my home to your buyer, George, like where the heck am I going to go? And then I would explain my service to this seller. I'd say, well, I'll do the same thing for you. You simply tell me what price range and neighborhood you're looking in, and I'll use my specific target marketing, and I'll go out to the neighborhood you're interested in, and I'll find you a property. Now, what have I got here? 3 or 4 ends? So I had one of my clients, they made $175,000 doing this. Okay, so it's just sending out a letter. Like there's no technology, right? It's stamps and a letter. And we teach you how to get the names and addresses of all the people that live in that neighborhood on that street. There's a whole system that we have for this. Does this make sense? Hit the like button if this strategy makes sense. Okay, let me know right now. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the like button. If we want to be successful, and this has been true the whole 25 years I've been in real estate, it's always pushing against industry norms. Where I've had the most success in real estate is doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And the offer that we make to buyers and sellers is of utmost importance. Like if you're saying to buyers, if what you're saying sounds like every other agent, if you're saying, oh, if you work with me, I'll email you the properties, I'm a great negotiator, they don't even need you to negotiate, really, because now that the buyers know who's got the house listed, now that they can find the home, they can actually just go around you, go directly to the listing agent, and maybe negotiate a better deal without you. Now, I'm not saying it's not a good idea to be represented. I'm just letting you know what the buyers think. How many of you would agree the buyers don't see a lot of value in us, and they're saying, hey man, I don't need you to find a house. I can do that sitting on my couch. I don't really need you to negotiate. I can go around you and go directly to the listing agent. But when you're doing this strategy here, when I teach you, when I coach you up on how to find unlisted and off-market properties, when you say that to buyers in your advertising or with the words that come out of your mouth, they're paying attention, right? Because it's the thing that you're offering that they're most interested in, right? And no other agent is offering it, and it's not information the buyer can get on their own. So when you say to the buyer, hey, how would you like to be the only one that knows about a property? Number one, there's nothing on the market for you. Right now, there's no houses in that neighborhood for you. But when a house comes up, you are literally going to be in competition with 4 or 5 or 20 other offers. And in some cities, like my city, the only way the buyer is going to get the house is if the buyer is willing to go $100,000 more or pay more for that home than any other buyer in my city thinks it's worth. So you got to step back and say, well, am I really doing my buyers a service? Am I really doing the best job representing them if the only way they're going to be able to find a home or be successful is to pay more for that house than all the other buyers in my city thinks it's worth? Or would I provide a better service for my buyers if I can do what the other agents can't do? Let me give you an example. You know, when you're following up with a buyer, the buyer says to you, hey, Craig, just email me the pictures of the houses. Just email me or send me the link. What I love about this is there is no link, right? There are no pictures to send. We're simply saying, hey, tell us what you're looking for. We're going to start marketing what you're looking for to that neighborhood, and I am going to find you sellers that, for whatever reason, don't want to list their house. They don't want to be involved with the whole hoopla of selling their home, which I'll talk about in a minute. And you'll be the only buyer that knows about these houses. It's free of service. You know, you're never obligated to buy a home. And I'm not saying I'm not going to send them the homes that are on MLS. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in addition to the homes on MLS, would you like free access to unlisted and off-market properties? If you say it that way, they'll say, yeah. You've immediately set yourself apart from all the other real estate agents, and you've got yourself a client. So now we coach you up on how to be successful, how to find them a home. Once we find them a house, boom, you're going to double end it. We teach you what the ad should say on Facebook to get the buyers. But I imagine a lot of you got tons of buyers, right? What you don't have are sellers. We would give you the letters that you would send out to those neighborhoods. And then you just fill in the buyer's name and what the buyer's looking for, their price range. But does this make sense? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Smash the thumbs up button. And make sure you turn on notifications, by the way, because when I go live, if you turn on notifications to this page, you'll automatically get them. So again, I have more detail on this in this special report. If you want this report on 7 essential strategies to make money on buyers right now in a seller's market, all you have to do is type in free report into the comments right now. Just type in free report and we'll get that out to you. By the way, some of you were at my conference, my big conference in California last week. It was great seeing everybody. We had hundreds and hundreds of agents there. Awesome hearing your success stories. I met many of you that are making over $1 million a year, which is awesome. I met some of you, there's a few of you that were making over $1 million a month in gross commission income. And if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, well, nobody does that, I'll introduce you to people that you can talk to that are actually doing this because they're using these strategies. They're not doing the same old thing as everybody else. So here's what we've covered so far. Your buyers can't find a house. The sellers won't list until you can find them a house. And there's nothing on the marketplace. So what do? You either advertise the buyer's criteria. Okay, I have a buyer. They're looking for a 3-bedroom home in Glenway Estates. They're in this price range. They've got 2 kids. They've been transferred into the area. They're flexible on closing. They're pre-approved for financing. If you own a home like that in Glenway Estates or you know of someone in your area that's thinking of selling, give me a call. Or we're going to have the promotion come right from the buyer, right? Hi, my name is George. My wife's name is Cindy. We're looking in Glenway Estates. We love the area. Does this make sense? We're working with real estate agent Craig Proctor. If you're thinking of selling or know of anyone else in Glenway, give Craig a call or you can text him at this number. So I want to share with you the ads that we run, the letters that go out. I want to show you how to find the off-market properties. And then, what do we say when the sellers respond? So the sellers respond to your marketing and they're like, hey, I got a letter from this buyer, George, and he said to call you. Like, what's all this about? Do you really have a buyer for my home? Or is this some kind of trick to get my listing? No, we really have a buyer. His name is George. When can I drop over and have a look at your house? Why do you want to look at the house? Well, I don't want to call my buyer George, bringing them over to this guy's house if it's not, if George wants a 1-story and I get over there and it's a 2-story. Now, don't qualify them over the phone. Don't say, well, George is looking for a 1-story, and then the seller says, oh, I have a 2-story. Now you don't get your foot in the door, right? So don't qualify. When the sellers call you and say, hey, I got your marketing about your buyer. Do you really have a buyer? Your next step is, when can I come over and look at your house? Now, if you get there and it's truly not a match for your buyer, George, you're going to be upfront and say, well, my buyer's looking for a 1-story. You've got a 2-story here. But I have other buyers that would be interested in your home. The next thing you want to talk about is price. Are they going to be realistic on price? If the seller wants way, way more than what the house is worth, I'm not going to call my buyer George and tell him about the house. And then the third step is, will you pay me? Okay. Now I'm not signing a listing agreement. This house is not going on MLS. I don't need to list the house because I have a buyer. I'm going to use the same commission agreement. Like if I was selling my buyer George for sale by owner, I would use that kind of an agreement. It's just a commission agreement. If you're not sure what to use, just ask your broker. Say, if I was selling a FSBO, what agreement would I use? And they will tell you. It's the right house for my buyer George. The seller's reasonable on price, and the seller signed a commission agreement. What commission? You decide, but this is a service for the seller. So my members, we're getting full commission on this. Whatever that is to you, 5, 6, 7%, whatever you decide. This is convenient for the seller. Now, some of you may be asking, well, why the heck would the seller even do this? Why wouldn't the seller, why are they doing this? Why does the seller want to sell their home off market? Why doesn't the seller just list their house on MLS and get 15 other offers like everybody else? The answer is I don't know why, but they do. How do we explain iBuyer companies? Think about all these iBuyer companies out there. Open Door, OfferPad. Do you know that thousands of homes are being sold off market with instant offers? So we can't say it's not a thing, right? It's a thing. Okay. Some sellers, for whatever reason, COVID, the inconvenience, they don't want all the hoopla of listing their home for sale. So that's why if I send out 400 of these mailers or direct mail postcards, I might only get 3 or 4 sellers. So most sellers, I agree, they're just going to list their house on MLS. But we don't need a whole bunch of sellers, right? I've only got one buyer. Guy's name is George. He's looking for a 2-story home in Glenway Estates. If I get 3 or 4 sellers to respond to my marketing, George, he's not going to buy 4 of them, right? He's only going to buy 1 of them. And then the other 3, I either have buyers for those homes, or maybe I would just talk to them about listing their house the traditional way. So again, give me a thumbs up if this makes sense. Okay, if this strategy makes sense. I've got a whole bunch more for you folks. What I'd like to do is invite you all to join my private Facebook group. Okay, we're not in my private Facebook group right now. We're on my business page. But if you type into the comments below, private group, that's where the magic happens. I've got over 6,000 realtors. Now, you don't have to be a member, a Craig Proctor member. You don't have to pay me or anything like that. But just type in private group. I'll send you an invitation, and we're pumping out all kinds of great information inside the private group. So if you like this, you're going to love it inside the private group. So just type in private group, and we'll get you that invite. Now, if you want to know more about the strategies that we're talked about today, you can actually book a call with my team and I. It's a free call. How's it work? You're thinking, oh, is this like some kind of sales pitch? No, we'll explain to you some of the strategies that we believe you should be doing. We'll ask you a bunch of questions about you and your marketplace. And then we would say, hey, if I was you, this is what I would do. And you can decide, okay, is this something I want to learn more about? And if so, we would love to work with you. To book a call with my team and I, again, it's free. If someone could type into the comments below, Proctor Call. So my name, proctorcall.com. So proctorcall.com. That should be a clickable link. If you click on that link, you'll go to my Acuity Day Timer. You can pick a day and a time, and let's start with a conversation. All these thousands of realtors that I work with that are making hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars a year, and we're happy to provide you a complete list of areas in your marketplace, outside of your marketplace, anywhere in United States or Canada. We have a very impressive client list, including the top agents in most cities and for most franchises. If you book a call with us, that's where the conversation starts. And then you can decide, okay, is this Craig Proctor guy, is he going to add value? Because that's what I always want to do, right? I want to add value. I want to show you how you can be successful. Like in real estate, I don't know how much, if you have any debt or what all, we could wipe out any personal debt you have so quickly. Like in some of your marketplaces, you sell a house, you're making 20 grand, 30 grand, $40,000. With this strategy we talked about today, right? You have a buyer that has a house for sale, right? You have someone that has a house for sale. We find them a home, we double end it, and you list theirs. How much money is that for you right there? Just like one strategy that I just gave to you here for free on our session. So I do these every Wednesday, by the way, at 11 a.m. So you can tune in every week. But again, get inside the private group because that's where all the magic happens. Or even better, book a call with my team and I at proctorcall.com. So we got to wrap it up for today. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you enjoyed this. And it was certainly my pleasure being here today. And we'll see you all again next time. Thank you for being here. This is Real Estate Coach Craig Proctor. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's going to let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.